So just a little video on the engine swap that I'm planning on doing. This is a W124 naturally aspirated om606 engine, and I bought this one. Originally I was going to use this engine, but then I actually found a turbo W210 engine for sale, or car for sale, so I ended up buying that, and that'll be a turbo one. I thought by the time I piped it in with the manifold and the intake and the oil feeds and everything like that, that I was better off just using the W210 engine, even though I'm only going for 270 to maybe 300 horsepower, something like that. So I started stripping this to go into this one here. So this is an 89. This one is a 94, 95, something like that. Here in Ireland, the year is quite important. So 89 is over 30 years old, and as such, the tax would go from something around €1,800 down to €56 per year. Equally, the NCT, which is our annual road test, for a car that's over 10 years old, I believe, you have to do it every year. For a car that's 30 years old, you get every 2 years. So there's a big advantage to having a 30-year-old car, or a brand new one, obviously, because they get cheap tax as well. So then basically I just started stripping this off. I took off the manifold and the exhaust manifold at the same time. I have one stud stuck. I'm basically doing a lot of stripping on this car to get comfortable with it. I've never taken an engine out of a car before, to sort of get comfortable with what's involved in the W124s and the om606s. At the point where I have all this done, I'll take that pump out. Obviously that's the mechanical pump, so that's the important one to have. And at the point where I get all this kind of stuff out, I should be comfortable enough where I can then start to look at taking both an engine out of a W124, being this one, which is a 300 TE, which is an M103 engine, and also I'll be comfortable with the om606, roughly speaking, and I'll be able to hopefully take out the one out of the W210 that I have, which is a 96, 97 turbo engine. So far I've taken off the manifolds, I have taken out some of the heater boxes, I've taken out the heater, the washer fluid boxes. I have taken out the glow plug relay, glow plug, well, I have taken out the glow plug relay, but also taken out the glow plug wiring and everything like that. Seems to go around to here, which is a very small feed coming off the battery side, but for some reason has a huge plug for here that I presume feeds the cluster, the binnacle inside in the car. Aside from that, I have taken the exhaust off, obviously, the radiator out. This radiator, I was actually very surprised by this, I'm not majorly good with cars or have a great amount of experience doing highly technical stuff, but what I was pretty amazed, or not amazed, surprised by, was that the transmission cooler lines feed into the same radiator. Presumably they have their own top and bottom. It seems to be both on this side, so maybe it just runs along here and that's sufficient to cool it while the radiator is operational with the coolant. I don't know. What else did I notice? Oh yeah, this bar here looks to be a cooler in itself, but for the engine oil. Yeah, and that's pretty much all that's happened to date. Everything seems to be coming apart fairly easily, aside from one or two small things that are rusted and need to be cut off or whatever. The prop shaft, I took off the prop shaft because I'm not sure I might use this prop shaft and actually the standard gearbox that's in this, because that should leave me a fully manual, a fully mechanical system rather than in using one of the off gear controllers. I'm still not certain yet, but if I use the gearbox from this, I'm hoping that at my power level and at the fact that I wouldn't be sitting doing burnouts and stuff in it, that would be sufficient of a gearbox that would do the job. And if that's the case, I can just then use this prop shaft and it should line up pretty well into this car, because they're both the estate version. This joint here has a little split in it through the rubber. You can just see light kind of coming through every now and then. You can see it there. I don't know if that's something that's easily replaced. It's obviously a lot more easy to replace now that it's off the vehicle. While we're still topside, what I did notice, I took out all this wiring here and I sort of made notes, or I made photographs and uploaded them onto Facebook and that, of this wiring here, which seems to go to that glow plug wiring harness, let's say. And what else I noticed? I was very surprised there's a wear sensor on the calipers, which is, where is it gone? This piece here. So that goes through and is actually comes straight off the battery and into the same wiring that comes down here, which is the starter motor wiring. And then also what I was surprised was, well, I shouldn't be surprised, but I thought was interesting was the feed for the ABS speed sensor. It comes to here, and I think it's a similar one to what's over in the 300 TE, so that should be safe enough. I'm wondering, do I have to incorporate the rudimentary kind of ECU system here into the 300 TE, just to keep the gubbins are happy with just being a diesel, and transfer over some other things related to it. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that a bit more. The pump is going to be, once it's taken off and everything like that, is going to be rebuilt with one of Diesel Pump UK's kits. So I have, let me see, I have that already here. That is the throttle cable kit they do. And then we just have the usual, or the bits and pieces for the elements, and they are delivery valves. So I got all new delivery valves. I also got their little brass bushings that go on the flyweight, I believe it's called, and you might correct me on that. And there's your elements inside in there. I'll just show you the elements while I have it. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed, not the most elegant. I also don't want to get them too dirty. So, I can't remember the measurement offhand what size elements they were, but they're the ones that they sell in the standard kit that goes out to people. I think it is, am I right in thinking, is it 7.8 or is it 8.8? Something like that. Can't fully remember. I also bought the locking tool for the pump. My pump builder is going to rebuild the pump, everything like that for me, and then they'll install that and then ship it with me to me like that. So then all I have to do is get the W210 engine with the UDC pump to, let's say, 11 degrees past dead center, and then take off, obviously lock it like that with, I think what Luke Dale was saying was using the rubber piping sort of holds it in place. But I and then fit the mechanical pump and then pull this out, and it should, all going well, be in timing. I can always double check it. I kept all the metal injector feeds from that pump. I don't know, maybe these are narrower than the ones that are going to be on the W210. Better off to keep them safe anyway and have that option. They could be wider, but unlikely. So yeah, that's Topside. I'll lift the car now and we'll just have a quick look underneath. So underneath, it's crusty, so much rust. It was the right choice to I can't even turn that one. It was the right choice to get rid of this car, dismantle this car, rather than try and use it. I have, as I say, taken the prop shaft out, the exhaust and that, and I have started getting ready for taking this gearbox off. So I've these bolts are all loose. There's one just up the top there, dead center. I can't seem to get a spanner in. I can't even get a ratchet in, anything to get a grip on it. Same here. These ones are all rusted. Lovely earth clamp, earthing to rust. There is this plug feed. Looks substantial enough. It clicks into just here. Hope you're seeing that. It's a very bad camera phone here. Fits into there and disappears inside into the firewall. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. I was sort of hoping that it was a digital. It was a digital feed for let's say the speedo, or for changing it, like something like that would incorporate well into then the more modern 722.6 engine that's in the W210. But I honestly don't know. Anybody who can tell me, that would be fantastic. Yeah, so that's that split. I need to drop the sump, obviously, get the oil out of it, everything like that. I have the back, I should have shown you this one that's up top, the oil filter housing. I've taken 3 bolts out of it, and I can't really find a 4th one, and I'm hoping that, I know there must be one there, because but I can't really feel it with my finger, so I need to look at some photographs of that maybe online, just to see what that looks like off the car and try and work it out. Yeah. little tiny diff on it. I was really hoping it was going to be, you know, that is it ASR or ARS diff that comes on some of them that lock up, but no joy, I don't think, on that one. And I'll take these SLS shocks out just so that I have a second set before I scrap this car. So that's to date, that's everything. I'll just give you a quick look around this car. So this car is getting a bit of welding done at the back here. That's typical for these W124s and is critical as well. This is the 3-litre petrol M103 engine. Locations are different for the water bottle. Aside from that, everything looks the same. Obviously, the om606s don't seem to have as much ECU kind of gubbins and everything like that. So like these kind of plugs, these Bosch plugs here, even that little plug there, this I think is an ECU plug, this one here, and that doesn't exist even on the om606s, and that's sort of what attracts me to them, because they're simple and mechanical, and that's sort of what I want to keep. So I'd say this is getting a bit of welding. The suspension is perfect on this. It's all been upgraded. The shocks and all that look like brand new SLS shocks. The interior is fully stripped out. I took that out and I gave that a really detailed clean. So it's a cream leather. I'm hoping to get the boot seats there, because I have the seat belts from this one here. That's up on the lift. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to try, guys, and keep putting up videos for two reasons. One of it's quite selfish. I think if I can get videos up regularly and stuff like that, and people start to watch it, they will get a step-by-step as it goes for doing the build, which I can't seem to find. I can find lots of sporadic videos, but nobody doing it from start to finish on YouTube. And then also, I'm hoping that by me putting them up, every time I meet an obstacle or something like that, I'll be able to rely on YouTube and the community there to see the videos and to be able to offer me some advice, having maybe done it yourself or just have a very good knowledge base. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. That's about 3 evenings, doing maybe an hour and a half each evening. That's the way I sort of operate. So it'll be, I'm sure, maybe a week or so before I'll be checking in again with some updates. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, bye.